Have you ever won a battle but still felt like you lost the war? I have. I won in a courtroom, armed with the law, but I couldn't reach the person's heart. I couldn't transform them. And in that victory I found only emptiness. This feeling made me question everything I thought I knew about justice. Our legal systems, for all their modern appearances, still carry the echoes of a primitive club. They punish, but they rarely heal. They strike, but they rarely transform. When my lawyer was celebrating, I couldn't join in. Because I knew that if I couldn't help restore the humanity of the person I stood against, if I couldn't illuminate the shadow within them, then what was really gained? I find myself empathizing even with those who cause harm. I think about their history, their traumas, and I grieve. Not because they are innocent, but because they are broken. And I wonder, was I wrong to strike? Should I have tried to hold up a mirror instead of a weapon? Maybe true justice isn't about defeating someone, but about evolving together. But how can we evolve in a system built on retribution, not rehabilitation? A system that screams punish instead of whispering understand. This is the great challenge of our time, to transcend primitive justice and rewrite its very definition. What if I told you that crime isn't just an exception, but a product of the system itself? Yes, some people act with malice. But more often than not, the system creates the very conditions where crime becomes almost inevitable. Poverty, inequality, a lack of education, psychological trauma. These aren't just personal failings. They're symptoms of a society that has failed to care for its people. We say, he stole. But do we ever ask, why did he feel he had to steal? We say, she lied. But do we ask, what truth would have kept her safe? A society that punishes without questioning itself is a blind society. A justice system that judges people without examining the social structures that cornered them is a shallow one. The real criminal is sometimes an economy that traps people in poverty, an education system that fails to teach values, or a media that normalizes violence. Justice must look beyond the act to the environment that created it. We live in an age of incredible scientific understanding. We know that human beings are shaped by their experiences and environment. So why does our justice system act as if every crime springs from pure evil? True justice isn't about revenge. It's about understanding. It's not about punishing the bad, but about healing what is broken. The system must first be honest with itself. I produce criminals. I create pain. Only then can real transformation begin. We are at a turning point. For millennia, justice has meant punishment, an eye for an eye, cage the criminal, silence the voice. But this primitive model no longer serves us. A new civilization demands a new kind of justice. The old paradigm punished the wrongdoer. The new paradigm asks, why did this happen, and how can we evolve from it? The justice system must become a mirror, not a weapon, a teacher, not a whip, a place of transformation, not a prison. Instead of building bigger prisons, we must build stronger individuals. Instead of isolating people, we must reintegrate them through healing, education, and empathy. This isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It's the only path to true, lasting security. Imagine a world where someone who commits a crime is offered training, therapy, and the tools to understand themselves. A justice system that asks not just, what did you do, but what happened to you? This system doesn't just punish, it heals. It doesn't just judge, it evolves. Every human being carries a hidden court inside them, a court made of conscience, memory, and awareness. Here, the judge is you. The prosecutor is your fear, the defendant is your trauma, and the verdict is the life you choose to live. In this inner courtroom, you can't lie to yourself. Modern justice often ignores this most important court. True punishment isn't a prison cell, it's the torment of a fractured inner world. A person who hasn't faced their own truth cannot help heal anyone else. That's why the justice of the future must begin with awareness, with education, with reflection. When we demand justice, we must also mean let the individual meet themselves. Because every unhealed wound in a person becomes a wound in society. A society that only punishes, but doesn't teach people to be their own judge and their own reconciler, will forever be stuck in a cycle of violence. A society is a mirror. It reflects the consciousness of the people within it. If individuals are fearful and reactive, society becomes a machine of suppression and chaos. But if individuals are mindful and compassionate, society becomes a structure of justice and evolution. Laws are written on paper, but true justice is inscribed in our collective conscience. Our problem today is that we have systems that punish, but not systems that heal. A society that sees the criminal as an enemy will always need new enemies to maintain control. But a society that sees the criminal as a traumatized person who has lost their way and works to restore them, that is a truly civilized society. In this future, justice doesn't arrive after the crime. It's present in every school that teaches emotional intelligence, in every news report that promotes empathy, and in every political system rooted in human dignity. The real justice system of the future isn't a court, it's a culture. Let's be honest, the current justice system is trapped. It's caught in the gears of capitalism, overshadowed by dogmatic thinking, and often serves as a puppet for power. From police interactions to cold courtroom procedures and finally to prisons, the entire chain can be traumatizing. Prisons themselves are a confession of a civilization's failure. They are centers of abandonment, not reintegration. We must envision a different path, one of rehabilitation and transformation centers, not prisons. A system that confronts the social conditions that breed crime. True justice doesn't just punish the crime, it uproots the cause. This isn't just about legal reform, it's about a fundamental shift in our societal paradigm. This new paradigm is what I call luminous justice. It's a justice born not from darkness and fear, but from consciousness and light. Luminous justice understands the trauma behind the crime. It aims to restore, teach, and transform, and most importantly, it is preventive. It creates harmony, not fear. It sees every individual as worthy of dignity and capable of growth. As we move into an age of transhumanism, where technology merges with our very being, these principles become more critical than ever. The integration of artificial intelligence, the enhancement of our minds and bodies, all of this must be guided by ethical frameworks rooted in empathy and justice. We must ensure these advancements serve the common good, not just the privileged few. We have a profound responsibility to navigate the ethical dilemmas of privacy, autonomy, and equality. The path forward requires us to build a civilization where law and compassion coexist, where power is used to uplift, and where technology serves humanity. This isn't a distant dream. It begins now, with each of us. It begins with the choice to see justice not as a weapon, but as a journey toward collective healing and well-being. It begins with building a world where every being can truly thrive. Thank you for listening. If this message resonates with you, please like, share, and subscribe to join the conversation.